I'm going to be taking bites of this burrito while we're talking about food noise. Just for context, I got some chicken breast, low-carb tortilla wraps, and some Kirkland salsa. And it's great. Quick meal. Lots of protein, lots of fiber, and my vegetables. So we're crushing it.
Salsa counts as a vegetable.
I mean, is it not? Tomatoes, onions.
Tomatoes technically a fruit. No, that works. I was going to say that, like, there have been phases in my life where it's like make everything a wrap phase, you know? Because like sometimes everything is just better in a wrap. And the other day, I've been getting my meal delivery service recently because I'm trying to leverage my time better. And they had like a chicken shawarma situation that was so good. I was like, I need to look up their email address and write to them and just tell them how much I appreciate the chicken shawarma.
Let's just do a quick review. I mean, all the cultures of the world, what is their version of a wrap?
Yeah.
We got, obviously, the burrito.
Yeah.
We've got shawarma.
The shawarma.
We got the pita.
The hero. The Greek hero.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then like pita stuff with, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, you can also get...
We've got like spring rolls. Sorry.
Spring roll, sure. You can get like a pita falafel hummus situation. And, you know, there's even the style where there's like French fries inside there. That's pretty good.
Do the Italians have a wrap?
I mean, they have a calzone. I don't know if that counts. Yeah.
Do the French have a wrap?
Well, there's actually like a French street food called French tacos. That's like the equivalent of like the George Foreman, you know, wrap thing where it's like the press.
Panini press type of thing?
The panini press type of thing. Yeah. Yeah. And they do some great sandwiches in France. There's like one that I had with like walnuts and cheese and I mean really good combinations of things. Butter. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, really great. And then, you know, there's like your chicken Caesar wrap that you often find in the US. That's always a good one.
I mean, we got world wraps right here in Cordillera.
Oh, I love world wraps. I like the sushi wrap with like the salmon in it and avocado.
Yeah, like a sushi hand roll is kind of like
a hand roll is kind of a wrap. Yep. Yeah.
Delivering nutrients wrapped up in starch. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, well, do you mind introducing us to how you want to... I mean, this was happening in a group thread that you're very active in, so tell us about it.
Yeah, so our Persist Platinum coaching clients have started forming little subgroups so we can all connect with one another. And I'm in the FBB Women's group with some awesome ladies. And so we've been chatting about different issues that we have. So shout out to the FBB ladies right now. And this topic comes from one of them where they wanted to talk about food noise, where it's like you can eat and be full and then still just be thinking about food and have that food chatter going on in your mind.
Have you ever dealt with food noise?
I wouldn't say that I have food noise to the level that a lot of other people seem to have. It's like really hard to know what goes on in other people's brains. But from the way that I hear other people talk about food noise, I don't think that it's something that I deal with that much. There are times, especially when I'm stressed, and especially like in the afternoon or like right after I've eaten lunch, where my brain is definitely like, it is time to go hit the Sour Patch gummies. And if I am on like a very conscious nutrition protocol, like which I am right now, then, you know, that's where like I just have to be mindful, because I used to just like sit on my couch. I was thinking about this. I used to just sit on my couch and just like house a whole bag of those, or like eat an entire bag of Chex Mix. And those days are behind me, but like that's where like those little impulses come from. And I was actually thinking about it because I was like, why don't I have the same food noise as other people? I think a lot of it is physiological and just sort of the way I'm built. But I was also reflecting on how I used to be in this like sort of I'll call it like a meditation program that was like pretty intense, where I would go 4 times a year for 4 years and do these like 10-day long retreats and things like that. And there was like very intentional, specific training around concentration, because you have to be able to concentrate in order to be able to meditate. That's like step 1, is to like learn how to quiet all of the noise that comes into your brain day to day and like actually just sit and focus on a specific thing. And we used to just practice like focusing on one specific thing and just like not letting your brain like stray away from it. And so I think that that's actually, I'd like to hear your take on this, but I think for me, like that has been a skill that has factored in, is that I've actively learned how to concentrate in my life.
This is such a big topic. And as I was sitting here, I was like, man, I just really want to unpack this. And I was having a thought back to like an old podcast. I think before you and I even were hosting together, we talked about intuitive eating with Mizba. And I went and talked about it more from the context of like, well, what does intuitive eating to me mean? What's my interpretation of the words and the actual vocabulary? And come to find out later, okay, intuitive eating is like an approach, like a method that a particular author out there wrote a book on, and that there's a whole like, and I missed a little bit of the context, more just talking about how do we eat intuitively rather than like intuitive eating as a practice. So as you bringing up food noise, and I'm like, okay, is this another instance? Is there something out there where like I'm not clear on what the reference to food noise is and how it's being used in the culture?
Yeah.
So I just looked up I talked to my friend over here, Chat GPT, for a second just to get some context. But from my understanding, this is not like, somebody hasn't written a book. Like food noise is like a particular thing that I don't have some context and awareness of, correct?
As far as I know.
As far as you know, okay? So I'm not going to butcher this, but let me read this. Food noise refers to persistent, intrusive thoughts about food, ranging from what to eat, when to eat, how much, to judgments about food choices. It's more than just hunger. It often feels like a constant mental chatter or rumination, unwanted, emotionally distressing, and disruptive. Do you have that?
No.
You do not. I know this about you. I have that.
Yeah.
I've had it for a long time.
Yeah.
It started basically at age 19 when I first dieted my first time ever. Don't think I've ever really escaped that. Maybe for a period of time when I was training like a professional athlete, tons of hours, where the frequency and the amount of training I was doing almost was like, you can't out-train a bad diet. Like you kind of can in a way.
If you spend that much time.
If you spend that much time. And probably part of why I fell so in love with that amount of volume of training, and why it was so hard for me for years after CrossFit was over to reduce my training frequency down, was because when I trained that much and I moved that much and I made my day centered around movement, it quieted my food noise, and it was not that loud. It is a very modern phenomenon. Food noise likely never existed like many, many thousands and thousands of years ago. There was hunger, and there was real physiological drive to go get food. But when there was food available, it was consumed, and then it was, okay, like life is about figuring out when our next meal is, staying safe, etc. It's not about, I'm hungry, but I just keep thinking about wanting to go back and get more chips out of the pantry, or I am at the airport and there's no good food around. What am I going to do? I'm stressed out. Or, gosh, like everybody, like people are eating right now. Like, should I be eating too? Like, I want to fit in, but I don't want to eat the stuff that's here. To waking up and being like, how am I going to hit my macros today? How am I going to do this thing? Like, all right, I just finished my macros for the day. Oh my gosh, I feel something. Is that hunger? Is that just noise? Like, I don't want to be thinking about that. I got to go distract myself. It shows up in many, many, many ways, not just in my life, but in lots of people's lives. Sure. This is a thing.
Yeah.
And I would say that it is probably, I don't know. Yes, it's getting more attention. It's really the term food noise has only come into my vocabulary probably in the last like 6 to 12 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even
I was thinking like it hasn't. Yeah. I mean, it hasn't been around that long. It's like I've never heard this term like years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been feeling it for 20 years, but I've only had a word for it until now.
Yeah.
Which helps, especially as more people become aware and they have the language. It's like, oh, like I have a problem. It's food noise. It's like, whatever. I have a problem. It's addiction. It's, it's like, you never know the full context when somebody says that, but at least it gives you like a ballpark of like, oh, that's what you deal with. Like, and now it's like, once we have language around it, once people are talking about it, then we start to investigate like, how are you dealing with it? How do you deal with it? What have you found? And I think that this is one of the areas that perhaps modern medicine is going to support and help. Could. But this is like a deep psychosocial, like physical, it spans so many different parts of life and how it impacts how you think about food and what it does for you and how much it distracts you from your life. And I know that there have been phases in the last 6 years where I've had so much food noise going on in my head that I have not been a good parent. I have not been a good husband. I have not been a good business owner. I've not been a good coach. And by not good, I mean not to the level that I know I'm capable of being. And to me, it has been like a driving force in why I have sought thoughtful solutions to diet, nutrition, exercise, and lifestyle. How do we help people align to choices that make them physically feel good without sending them down a lifetime of just food noise?
Yeah.
Because you could be super fit, physically healthy, but consumed by food noise and just not living your optimal life. And to me, that is a trade-off that I'm not sure is a good one to make for some people, where it's like, yeah, you do these things, you get super physically healthy, you lose body fat, you become a better mover, you build strength, and somewhere in that process, you become hyper-focused and obsessed with food and how it impacts you. And so that 90% of your day, you think about it. It's just there. It's constant chatter. And you're just distracted.
Yeah.
There are people that have poor physical health, aren't strong, don't have good foundation of fitness, and have food noise. And that's a prison for a lot of people, psychologically and physically. So I've always said, like, well, at the very least, let's give you these physical health tools. Let's work on this. And now it's more in my awareness to be like, how do we promote that and not leave people feeling an enhanced version of this food noise in the wake of trying to pursue a healthy life?
Right.
And it's not everybody. Like, I think underlying this is people who have high appetite drive and people who have low appetite drive. Those are big differences, right? At the seed of a lot of this food noise for many people is hunger, is this relationship to like food. I like food. I love food. I like to create community around food. I always feel kind of a sense of hunger. They have an appetite that's very high relative to somebody else. Oh, I rarely think about food, or I miss meals, or it's like 3 o'clock. I haven't eaten anything today. It's like, for me, that is an impossibility. It just will not happen unless I am heavily medicated on something and just comatose.
Right.
Like, I wake up thinking about eating, like it's part of some physiological, psychological thing that's inside of me, but not everybody is playing on that same field. And so there's a category, I think, of individuals who probably have more food noise than others. There's some physiological pieces to it. There's cultural pieces to it. And I think it's important to just acknowledge, name, and recognize that, like, you may be talking to somebody about this thing and they have no way of relating to you. It's like, oh, I don't even get that.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
I'd be really interested to break apart or to tease apart the difference between physical hunger, because we give clients a lot of strategies to deal with hunger. And so when clients need to lose weight, they need to be in a calorie deficit. That comes with physical signals, that comes with learning strategies to deal with the physical hunger that your body has to go out and get food. And then there's this other level where it's clearly not physiological, because you've just eaten, and your brain is still chattering about, like, where's the next meal? Like, what am I going to have dessert? Or when's the next time I'm going to eat? And going and going and going.
I don't think it's as separate. I think that what you talked about earlier, spending years in practice of meditation and learning the skill of being able to be present and focused in one area of your life at a time, or on one thing or on nothing, just the absence of thought, is a wildly undertrained skill in people generally. And in the absence of some way of feeling at peace with yourself, or focused and dedicated and devoted to one thing at a time, like having the ability to monotask,
right,
not multitask,
right,
like really being not just in love, and I'm not talking about with your body or with like the way you look, but like, I love myself, I'm good, and whatever I'm doing right now is plenty. I don't need anything else at the moment, like, and I can pour my energy and focus into one thing. This is, in my experience, missing for a lot of people. Food is a thing in our lives that gives immediate physiological response. Smell, taste, those are instant. Sight, instant. Then there is the downstream digestive effect of, now I have energy in my system. I'm getting some physical response. I can feel, people can feel digestion happening. They can feel distension of their stomach. They can feel something happening. In the absence of being able to feel good in where you are as a human being in this present moment, right now, okay with this, focused on this, that's all I need. And you're uncomfortable in your skin in some way, many people will seek out some place to feel something. Food gives us that so quickly. Once upon a time, there wasn't food around to go and use as an outlet. It was, if I wanted to go and have a food feeling, I had to go and hunt or forage for something, and that takes energy. So it was not even in the top 10 of how do I deal with what I'm feeling inside. Now, it is everywhere. We say this, it's like, you're never more than like 60 seconds away from 10,000 plus calories that are usually delicious. So it's like, if I'm having just a moment where I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling good in myself, like, and you're not even aware of it. You just have an emotional state that pops up, and it subconsciously, I'm uncomfortable with this. Where's the thing I can turn to? So people take physical action, but it's also just that habit and that knowledge that it's there that becomes the noise I think many people feel. It's like, oh, it's thinking about food because I don't really want to think about the thing that's in front of me. I don't want to think, I'm not comfortable being in this moment with what I'm, right? And I've gone deep on this. What is the state that I'm in at the end of a meal that makes me feel content? And what's the state that I'm in that makes me feel like I need to reach for another bowl?
Yeah.
How do I want to approach dining out with my friends? What works for me? What doesn't work for me? Like, yeah, I've tried so many things to just understand how to mitigate this voice and this noise, this thing that's there.
Yeah. Well, can we unpack that? I mean, what are the things that you've tried or noticed?
It's like, how do you deal with depression? Well, this is how I do it. How do you do it? Like, everyone needs to deal with this differently, but at the fundamental part of it is you need to raise your awareness of what is happening. Like, and that's what, that's so much of what drives me to teach people nutritional habits, skill stacking, and awareness of what's going in their body. It's all an attempt to basically, because there's very few clients that are robotic and just tell me what to eat and I'll eat it. There are people like that.
Yeah.
And people who have food noise hate those people.
Right.
It's like, oh, you had a hard time eating enough food today? F you.
Totally.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks for me. Because I want that. But it's starting, I mean, I think the more important conversation is not like, here are the tools to go use, because my tools might have nothing to do with you, but it is the act of, bringing your awareness to, in those moments, not, oh, I'm having food noise. That's important to start acknowledging it. But then it's like, in what moments do I have food noise? When I'm out of my home environment where I don't have control over my food, and I'm at a restaurant and I'm with people who don't share the same values around health and nutrition as me, it ramps up my food noise, my food anxiety. And then I lose a sense of like peace and calm and intention, and I start reacting. That's one of 100 examples. But it's like, who's paying attention to that part of it? Why, when you have this meal, do you feel satiated, calm, relaxed, and you don't think about food for the rest of the night? Why, when you have this meal in this environment with these people or this type of food, that you feel categorically different afterwards? And look, people got so much on their plate, so many things that they're dealing with in life, that this seems ridiculous to even be putting energy and time into. Yet, in many people's cases, it probably consumes more of their mental thought and energy than anything else in their life. And therefore, I think it is worth raising awareness around and helping create a language of like, this is categorically food noise. I'm experiencing it in these places. It's really heightened when it's here. It's like journaling on this stuff and being like, yeah, I had a high amount of it yesterday and this is when I felt it. It's like recognizing our patterns. And then there's probably a whole lot of personal skill, meditative work that needs to take place to build resilience against your brain. Just it's ADD with food, kind of. I don't know. Like I'm not qualified to really make that statement, but from what I understand, it's like, can't keep your thoughts in one place, and the food is the attention that your attention is pulled towards constantly. We have medication for ADHD. It's like, why? Because it is that disruptive to people's lives. They cannot keep their attention on the thing that they want to be keeping it on. They're being distracted by this. And therefore it's that powerful.
Yeah. We have GLP-1s now, and a lot of people speak to their ability to quiet food noise. Right. And I'm curious if you believe that food noise can be addressed to a degree that, allows someone relief from that without GLP-1s.
It's like most things, yes, there's always a way. Mm-hmm. How much time, energy, bandwidth do people have to really seek out that solution, right? Hey, everybody can exercise and eat well and fix their health problems. Some people, that's realistically not the first thing that they can do.
Yeah.
So they get on medication, or they take a statin, or they take they take metformin, or they, right? You can do a lot of powerful work to combat anxiety and depression through talk therapy, through men's groups, through church groups, through, creating connection, community. It's a big undertaking. You got to put a lot of work into that. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
or you can take a medication, and that can give you a lift for some people pretty quickly. Food noise, same thing. Remember being my early 20s after I'd kind of gone through a pretty rough phase of food noise. Or go back to the CrossFit example. I quieted food noise. Great. Just train 30 hours a week.
That's all you got to do.
Triple sessions a day, right?
Yeah.
No food noise. Just show up at home, eat whatever I wanted, pint of ice cream, go to bed, wake up, do it again. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Not a good solution for most people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, there's ways for sure. They require what I was alluding to earlier, which is like a deep amount of awareness, intentional, personal work, probably, right? Yeah. And I have heard, there's a coach out there, a creator that I follow closely, and he's been in this health and wellness space for as long, if not longer than me. Works with a lot of people who are, not high-level athletes, but just your everyday people looking to lead a healthier, more balanced life. He's been outspoken about his relationship to food and his binge eating disorder that he's had for a long time, since he was a high school wrestler. And he recently just came out and was like, hey, for the last 8 months, I've been exploring and experimenting with low-dose GLP-1s, and it has quieted the food noise in my life to the level that I have had a profound and meaningful improvement to my quality of life, my relationships to my kids, to my wife, to my work, to my clients. Not somebody that needed to lose weight, has been maintaining a healthy body weight for years, has posted countless transformations and evidence-based calorie deficit dieting, activity, training. And he's now being fairly outspoken about the power of a drug that can quiet food noise and impact his life. Did he have something missing? Was he not doing the right thing? Was that food noise seed planted when he was 14 years old and he had to cut 30 pounds of weight in a month because he needed to make weight for a wrestling match, and he developed really unhealthy relationships to food? How many people have had eating disorders or some bad relationship to food in their life that was started when they were told at the soccer practice that you're a little fat, Marcus? Like, the stuff happens to people, and yeah, there's a way to work on that personally, non-medically, and many people find huge relief through that pursuit, and some people don't end up finding it through those traditional means. And so, does medication play a role? Is it something that people should consider? I'm not here to say yes or no, but I understand it 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand it too. And it's always a trade-off, because even medications can have side effects, or food noise can come back once you go off them. And so, for sure, there are always trade-offs to make. I think that, one thing that also typically gets added to the mix from what I've seen with clients is that part of the issue that compounds food noise is the noise around, I'm a bad person, there's something wrong with me, why can't I be like everybody else, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah I've thought about that many times. Why can't I just have the relationship that this person has to food, and just not think about it, or only think about it when it's dinner time, and I've also observed, time and time again, that the way you perceive somebody else's relationship to food is never really what they are experiencing.
Yeah. So there's a lot that goes on behind closed doors.
So much that goes on behind.
all of it goes on behind closed doors. Yeah.
And that somebody who has a healthier relationship with food has a terrible relationship with their body in some other way. They're in pain, they're not active, they don't train and exercise, they have limited strength, but they feel good about their relationship to food and they maintain a decent weight. So it's very easy and understandable why we would find ourselves in a position to say, have a ton of shame around why am I broken? Why can't I, resolve this thing? And the comparison to others, usually never true. Mm-hmm. Almost always.
Yeah.
So to transform that into, man, this really takes up a lot of space, and there's nothing really wrong with me. It's a product of a lot of environmental factors and lifestyle factors. Start to just become curious about it rather than think there's something wrong with you about it. Mm-hmm. And with that curiosity, you'll likely be able to see, oh, this is where I feel it more. This is where I feel it less. This is what makes it worse. This is what makes it better. But you can't really get into action and see change when you're in a place of, I'm terrible, I suck, I'm a bad person because I'm everyone else is better than me because of the way I have to deal with this thing. It's a really hard place to start to make meaningful change from.
Yeah. For a client who is experiencing food noise, would you recommend the same strategies that we give clients for hunger at large?
Well, I don't know that food noise, so I'm separating food noise from hunger. Like, you can take steps to mitigate hunger, which are valuable tools and lessons and skills to learn, even if you're not trying to lose weight. It's just, they're valuable skills to learn for good, healthy weight management for a long time.
For sure.
For a lot of people. Not everybody needs it, but many people do. Those skills, like eating more fiber, eating at consistent meal schedules, prioritizing protein, not removing full food groups from your diet, hydrating well,
high volume, low calorie,
all those things, those have can have a big impact on hunger, but they also can have a carryover to quieting food noise. So it's worth implementing those strategies in and of themselves for general health and, fitness purposes, mm-hmm. but also they can, and not for everybody, but they can have a big or a medium or a small impact on food noise. There is going to be likely a whole set of triggers and things that lead to food noise that don't involve hunger. You're not hungry. You're uncomfortable in your skin right mm-hmm. now. You're uncomfortable in your environment. You hate your job. You hate your family. You hate your spouse. I don't know, whatever it might be. Those could be triggers for food noise, and no amount of fiber and hydration and protein is gonna make any dent in that. Mm-hmm. So yes, I would, but I would be like, let's implement these strategies not just because they're good for food noise, but because they're great for your health and wellness and your general weight management, and they may have a carryover to this. But if this is a thing that is challenging you, and we've identified it's a challenge to you, and that you've told me, like, I think about food like in all these different environments when I'm not even I don't even think I'm hungry. I just always want a snack or something. It's like, or I'm just thinking about my next meal. It's like, okay, there has to be a practice of investigating that, which is we have to come up with another awareness practice, journaling, talking about it with somebody. I think journaling is probably a really great way to at least take a first step at evaluating it. Like, when did you think about this during your day?
Yeah.
Time log it in a way. The same way with food. It's like we tell people to log their food and time log their food so they can see patterns and they can see what's coming up. Same thing with, emotional and mental, things that are going on in your life. It's like, it all feels like it just blurs together. At the end of the week, you're like, this week felt depressed. It's like, okay, well, there were moments where you felt really depressed. There were moments where you felt mild depression. There were moments where you maybe felt happy and you were excited. And it's like, when did these show up? So yeah, that is. So the answer to your question is yes, and there's probably more to it.
Yes, and more.
Yes, and more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know that you talk about everyone needing to bring that awareness to their own particular situation, and it's less about specific tactics and more just about what that person is going through and what comes up for them around food noise. But in your vast experience with food noise, what do you think has been the thing that has made the most impact or helped in certain ways, or any insights that you have learned more specifically, like from your own process of trying to become more aware of it?
And this is like, there's good and bad parts of this, but building routines has probably been the single biggest thing that's supported my like quieting food noise, having structure and rhythm to my day. Mm-hmm. Mostly, specifically around like meal timing. I eat at this time. 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 Generally what I eat here. This is generally what I eat here, and so forth. And so that way I can after a period of just a few weeks, but certainly a couple months, you become very like attuned to like your body's like, this is when you're hungry. And if something falls outside of that, it becomes sort of like a red flag for me of like, this isn't normal. Like, I always have breakfast at 7, and then I have my next meal at 11, and I have my next meal here, and it's generally this, and this is what I usually want. And if I'm thinking about food at 9:30 a.m., halfway between these meals, that could just be, there's noise here. Why is there noise here? Mm-hmm. Why is it showing up? Just be able to separate it. So that, and that was a strategy that I really leveraged a lot before kids, and then kids came along and that disrupted schedules for a period of time. It was like, how do I create new schedules and new rhythms and routines with kind of now a complicated life that's I don't have full control over, like I did when I was pre-kids. I think that's where a lot of parents fall into this, like, wow, food noise is much higher than it's ever been. So yeah, that's something that, it's still a work in progress, and that those rhythms have to kind of get reset for me now every 6 months, because something's changing. Got a new schedule with the kids. We got new after school activities. I'm coaching soccer now. I'm doing this, and so there's no like every evening at 5 o'clock we're at home and I'm having a settled dinner at home. It's like, now I'm coaching soccer practice till 6 p.m. and we're not home settled until 7. And do I just do I sneak dinner on the sideline when I'm coaching soccer? Or it's like, no, I got to reshape my schedule, which every time you reset routines and rhythms, it takes time to adjust to.
Yeah.
And in that adjustment time, there's noise, there's things coming up that are can be hard to navigate.
Yeah. I like that. I think that so often, this is one of the things that's been so helpful about coaching, is just having that point to reflect back at you of like, oh, like this thing went wrong and you feel like you're like a total failure in all these areas, but like, let's break it down. Like, this thing happened that changed your daily rhythm, or like this thing came into your life that was super stressful. It's like, there's often such a big reason for these things, and that can really help take some of that feeling of anxiety and personal responsibility down, and just be like, oh, like it's just that there was a change here and I need to adapt to it, and I just need to bring that more to my awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totes.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for bringing this topic up today, and hopefully it stirred some thinking and hopefully some self-awareness action that some of you are going to take. So I'd love to hear from you. If you have follow-up questions, message us over on Instagram, DMs, Satya Khan, Marcus Philly, and we'll see you guys next time.